All right, we're here at J-Tech. My name is Shane. We're going to test the coolant system here, do a pressure test on it. This, of course, you should always wear protective eyewear. It's rated for the job. In most cases and everything, you'd wear protective gloves. Make sure you got everything you need safety-wise. Last thing you want to do is get any of this stuff here to spray any kind of fluids or especially hot coolant. Always make sure this baby here is cold. Or cool down to where you can open it up. There's a lot of pressure built up in there, and it can spray out gases, coolant spray in your face and stuff like that. So that's a no-no. You don't want to mess with this when it's hot, because I can lay my hand all on it and everything. It's good. It's cold. Another quick test you can actually do. The system is cold. You should not feel any heat on the return line. In the mornings when you first start it up and everything, to let it warm up, it's always good to let it get to operating temperature. In this case, what happens is I move around here, you'll be able to see. If you look down in there, you'll see that silver down there, light gray. That's where your thermostat is. At that point in time, it's closed until the system is at operating temperature. Once it is operating temperature, it opens up. And what happens is when it opens up, it allows coolant to flow and back to the radiator and through the block and everything. There's a bypass valve as well, and that is open under cold temperatures. When the thermostat opens, it actually takes and closes off the bypass valve, allowing the coolant to flow no more through the bypass valve. So in this case here, what we're going to do is we're going to pressure test the system, and we will do it to the rated, what the cap actually says. It's at 16 psi. So you basically, what you'll do is you'll take this little thing here. This is a little pressure tester. It's got little readers on it and everything. That's the front gauge there. This end here, you would take and pretty much set it up on here. Now these are adjustable. You get it to where it locks onto there. All right. Now you're going to have to tighten this up once it's seated on. Sorry if it's a little bit shaky here. There we go. Make sure it's seated well. In this case. Alright, let me set this down here right quick. Okay, now that we got it seated, get up there so you can see it. Alright. I don't know if you can see that in there, but it's hooked in, it's set pretty good. Now, push this over here and check the tension on this little thing here. It should be tight. You push that over, and now what that does is allow the system to be able to charge the bladder, and that actually will help the system hold pressure. So let's see if we can get this charged up here. can see it staying up there, so let you know. So we're going. All right. Here we go. I get it in between there. All right, now it's in there holding. We're gonna go up here and relieve the pressure by moving it over. And this allows the system to be pressure tested. Everything is sealed up in there. You should read a 0. So what we're gonna do at this point is we're going to pump the system up to the recommended pressure. In this case, 16 psi or 110 kPa. So we're gonna set this down over here. To charge the system, you just pretty much use one of these here. It'll be at 0. You just pump the gauge. Now that can take a little bit. And the main reason for this is, like I said, you'll get it up to what the pressure should be under normal operating conditions. It'll take just a little bit here. Don't know if you can see the gauge yet. It will take a little bit. We're almost there. We got to go about 6 more psi. So. Almost there. All right. So it's a little bit of pumping there. We actually get the gauge. I don't know if you can see that there. Now you're going to let this sit for a few minutes. And what you're doing is checking to see if the pressure actually drops in the system. It's rated for 16 psi. It actually should stay at 16 psi. So we're going to let it set for a little bit, and when we come back, we will actually look at the reading. About 5 minutes to 15, 5 minutes actually. I believe that's the setting on it. But we're going to let it set for a little bit. I'm going to check a few specs, and when we come back, we'll read the pressure tester, and we'll see if it's dropped any pressure, and from there we can go about diagnosing where the leak may be. Another good thing is why the system is pressurized. Go through and look. Look at your hoses, look at your connectors. These are no bueno. They can actually eat into the hose. I don't know if you see how it's set as it is right now. But a lot of people use them. What happens in that aspect is they eat into the rubber. So, but you would go through, you look at all your stuff, look at your radiator, of course. But you'd have to get a little bit of flashlight, probably look from underneath. There's hoses down there, of course. So there's a lot of different systems that you want, hoses to the system that you want to check. Especially around down there. So, but yeah, you would look through the system. and check for any coolant leaks. Good thing is, come up under here, of course. Now see, the water's down there now is actually from the AC checks and stuff that we were doing earlier. So that can be a little tricky. See the green there? That's just a reflection of our crane or our lift up there up to our ceiling. But if you get down here and actually look, you really don't see anything there. I mean, you would do a further inspection, of course. Go in more detail and look at things. It's not a problem. But anyway, when we come back, we'll read the pressure tester, see if it's dropped any pressure, and we'll go from